they're not in their grave.
Hey, what's up, ghouls and gals? It's me, Ryan T here, and welcome to another bone-chilling episode of Saturday Night Horror Theater! Alright, ghouls and gals, let's get right the fuck to it, because it's fucking hot in here, and I know you ghouls and gals want to know what I thought about Fear Street 1666. That's right, tonight we're reviewing Fear Street 1666. Satan. Alright, ghouls and gals, Fear Street 1666 follows the Fear Street trilogy of films that have premiered this month on Netflix, and I honestly have to say I really enjoyed the fuck out of all these movies. The first one was a straight up like Scream style slasher, with the second one, 1978, being kind of like a Jason sort of slasher within that same vein of like the 70s style of like those kind of horror films, and then the third one kind of takes a different approach and like isn't really a slasher film at all until like the second half of the film, which is Fear Street 1994 Part 2. So you kind of get two movies in one in this movie, which I think is kind of cool. I like the way that they broke up these films and they kind of made them like episodes to a TV show. I like how they made it like episodic. They kind of did it like how Back to the Future did it at the movie theater back in the day, where they had like the first one came out, or like The Matrix, like the first one came out, then the second one came out, and then like the second one and third one like coincided with each other. So that's kind of what they did with this film here, and I really enjoyed that they did that. And I also enjoyed kind of the storyline of this film, and we kind of get the full scope of Fear Street and what it's actually about. And we find out that well, before I get into that, I should probably let y'all know that there's gonna be some serious fucking spoilers ahead, so you ghouls and gals better tune the fuck in. And just so you know, spoilers ahead, motherfuckers. Alright, what we find out in the film is that Sarah Fear, after all, isn't the entity that's been taking a hold of the entire Shady Side town, which is the town that is represented in these films, where like, if y'all haven't seen the films, everything shitty happens in Shady Town. Everybody gets killed in Shady Town, everybody gets in fucking accidents, everybody's life's all fucking shitty, everything's all fucked up in Shady Town.
In Shady Side, we're all cursed.
And all of the people jokingly blame it on like, oh, it's the curse of Sarah Fear, they cursed this land and stuff like that, and it's like a joke to everybody, you know what I mean? Like, nobody believes it because like, oh, you know, witches, who the fuck believes in that kind of shit? And what we come to find out in the third film's Fear Street 1666, that is a whole fucking mouthful for a movie. But yeah, what we come to find out is that Sarah Fear is actually a fucking victim, and Solomon Good, who is a ancestor to Nick Good, Sheriff Nick Good, who has at this point been kind of a protagonist in the film. He's been helping out our two leads in the film, Dina and I think her name is Samantha, the other one. And so she's been helping them out. And up until this point, we thought that Nick Good was a good guy, but it turns out good is evil, as they say in the fucking movie, because Nick Good and his family are a bunch of fucking evil motherfuckers. They've been sacrificing fucking people throughout Shady Side and just to keep Sunnyvale, which is the neighboring town, like, you know, on the up and up, and keep everybody wealthy and keep everybody fucking fed and everybody fucking happy and shit. Meanwhile, this other town is in like fucking poverty and shit, and like I said, everybody's life is like utter fucking shit because of this fucking curse. And we come to find out that fucking old Good family is doing fucking nefarious fucking things behind closed doors, and they're also like occultists and fucking Satanists, and it all goes back to the year 1666, which this film, like I said, it splits it up into two parts, and the first part is the actual story of Sarah Fear, because the second film, Fear Street 1978, ends on kind of a cliffhanger. You see Dina kind of put her hand into where Sarah Fear is buried, and some of her blood hits on her hand, and she kind of goes like and then she gets kind of like not transported back into the past, but she kind of goes into a trance, and she starts like seeing like visions of what actually fucking happened. And and it's good. I like the atmospheric take that they did with the year 1666. They fully utilized that year. I really felt like if I was watching kind of like you know, like The Witch or something like that, like atmosphere wise, I was watching like an old timey like horror film. And I haven't seen a good like period horror film in a while, so this was really refreshing and really cool, and it really was good for them to kind of end on kind of a refreshing note and kind of like not be a slasher film and like kind of be a film about the devil, because at its core, these films are about the fucking devil, because there is demonic demonic entities. They're dealing with the devil. They're doing sacrificing. They're sacrificing a bunch of fucking teenagers like a good horror movie fucking should. And it was really interesting. I really enjoyed what they did with Fear Street 1666, or with that storyline of Fear Street 1666. I like the old-timey stuff. I'm a sucker for people in corsets and shit and saying, oh, art thou live with the devil in the moonlight? I like shit like that. I like, as Kevin Smith calls it, Fakespeare. I like them doing their best attempt at Shakespeare, or like R.L. Stein's horror Shakespeare. And it worked. It's fun. It's very fun to fucking watch. And my light just turned off, and that's very fucking awesome. I love when that fucking happens. So I'm going to turn on the light over here, and you know what's going to end up happening? I'm going to turn this light on, and this other fucking light is going to fucking turn on, and I'm going to get it and throw it out the fucking window for fucking doing that shit. You know what? This would be a good time to hear from our sponsors.
Welcome to the world of terror. When I'm not busy embalming bodies, which isn't often, I like to relax with some good family reading. Let me introduce you to my personal library of Fangoria, the leader in horror entertainment. What a fascinatingly hideous cover of Freddy Krueger. And devilishly candid reviews of the latest horror videos. And gloriously bloody color photos from the newest Friday the 13th. They're all here in Fangoria. Can I persuade you to subscribe?
This is Fango editor Tony Tampone asking you to enter the world of Fangoria. Only $12.49 for a special 6-month video subscription. Send check or money order to Fangoria Magazine, 475 Park Avenue South, New York, 10016.
Customer! Ah, let the dead bodies wait.
Okay, Harry, grab the bud, and I think we're out of here.
Right.
I want to drink your bud.
Hi, I'm Harry. So am I.
Well, there you are.
You are not gonna believe this.
This Halloween, replenish your Bud supply. Pick up Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry.
What's your bud type?
I'm Freddy Krueger, and you're invited to my special get-together. But beware, you may never leave. Dial this number now. I've got some grisly new tales for you. And if you're one of my lucky callers selected at random, you'll talk to me live while you're awake and safe. So dial this number now if you dare. Talk to me live. Freddy Krueger is waiting just for you.
$2 for the first.
And we're back! And guess what, ghouls and gals? The light decided to work again. And guess what's gonna happen to that fucking light? I'm gonna fucking hang it like they hung fucking Sarah Fear in Fear Street 1666! But yeah, ghouls and gals, I hope y'all are enjoying those fucking commercials. I'm really fucking enjoying them, so it doesn't really matter if you're fucking enjoying them, because I'm fucking enjoying them. I'm kidding, but yeah, I'm really enjoying those fucking commercials. But yeah, Fear Street 1666, I really enjoyed the first half of it, and I really dug that atmospheric thing that they did, and I really hope we get to see some more Fear Street movies, and they don't have to do with Sarah Fear. They can kind of do with other stories, because there's other books in the R.L. Stein Fear Street category. Let's move on to Fear Street 1994 Part 2, which was the second half of this film, which honestly, they kind of really sync these two parts together really fucking well. I really enjoyed how they did that. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I really enjoyed the way they cut up these fucking movies. I really dug the way they kind of weave in kind of the before and after storytelling. Usually I don't like that sort of thing because it becomes very fucking messy, especially in fucking horror films, but these horror films are able to do it very well, and I think it's because the source material makes it very easy for you to adapt to kind of do that sort of storytelling. So I really enjoyed that they did that. Well, look at me talking like an actual film critic. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, moving on to Fear Street 1994, Parte 2. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one too. It was really kind of a means to an end, and which in the best way possible. They were really trying to put like a nice, like, horrific bow on the end of this kind of like horror surprise that they gave us. And we finally get to see Nick Good be fucking bad. Sheriff Nick Good finally rears his ugly head, and we kind of finally get to see him be like nefarious and fucking evil and villainous and shit like that. And we have Dina and adult Ziggy from the second film. Now they're banded together with Martin from the first film, as well as the other little kid who's the little brother to Dina, the geeky one who kind of knows all about the lore about Seraphir and shit like that. They all band together and essentially kind of have like a Stranger Things moment where they're like copying Stranger Things season 3, and are like, we're gonna have a showdown at the mall, because again, this film started off at the mall, and it's only fitting that it ended at the mall. And so like I said, guys, remember, I'm gonna give you a second warning. That's your second warning. That's your second spoiler warning. We're going to be spoiling Fear Street 1994 Part 2, even though we already were spoiling it. I should have gave you that spoiler alert a lot earlier, but I gave you one before. So what the fuck? Get your shit together. Listen to the fucking podcast the right way. Alright, anyways. What ends up happening is we see Dina and the gang, which they really do become kind of like a ragtag Stranger Things type of fucking gang, and they go to the mall and they kind of they concoct this fucking plan to fucking basically do what they did in Fear Street 1978. This film is really good with the callbacks. This film really does, like, hey, you need to watch the one before this so you get what's happening here, and I like that they did that. So yeah, they come up with this plan that they're basically gonna like mix Dina's blood, because they're after Dina. Remember, in the film, if you have the blood of the person that they're after, they're gonna ignore everybody else and they're just gonna go for you. So they're gonna put the blood in kind of like this, it's like pig's blood type thing, like in Carrie, and they want to dump it all over the sheriff and have all of the killers kind of go after him. And of course, that plan doesn't work out like every episode of Scooby-Doo. Come to think of it, this kind of follows the formula of Scooby-Doo at the end. They're just like, yeah, we're going to come up with a plan, a mismatched plan, and we're going to kind of throw a net over him, and we're going to trap him. And then, like, Dina's like, no, I'm going to fucking kill him. I'm going to kill this motherfucker. And they slowly realize that they have to kill this motherfucker so Ryan Torres, the mall killer, and all of the other Funky Bunch killers can fucking die. And I honestly think that they ended it the best way possible that they could have. They ended it in a way that they left it open that there could possibly be another Fear Street movie, and that there could possibly be another, somebody else pulling the strings and not the goods and stuff like that. And because at the end we have an in credit scene, Avenger style, and we see somebody take that book. We see somebody take the Widow's book that we find out in Fear Street 1966 that it's from a Widow Mary who's the ancestor of the camp counselor from 1978. And yes, you have to watch all the fucking other movies because there's so much lore that like interconnects and shit like that. But yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed both halves of these movies. I really enjoyed the Fear Street trilogy as a fucking whole. I might even rewatch the whole entire trilogy for Halloween this year because I really enjoyed these films that much, and I can't recommend these films enough. I really recommend you ghouls and gals check them out because, hey, they're for free. Well, technically, you're already fucking paying for them, so you might as well fucking watch them. Don't waste some good fucking entertainment. Fucking turn off the fucking trash TV for a second and watch some fucking trash horror movies, alright? Because they're good for your brains, okay? Especially something that's as fun as I always forget which direction is as fun as this fucking movie over here. I really enjoyed Fear Street 1994, Fear Street 1978, as well as Fear Street 1666 and Fear Street Part 1994 Part 2, there's a lot of numbers in there that I got kind of fucking confused. I enjoyed all the fucking films. They're really fucking awesome. As a whole, I want to give the whole series like an 8 out of 10. It's really fucking fun. And this movie here, Fear Street 1666, it is the weaker of the 3 films in the trilogy, but it is still good. It is still a really good ending, and they still do kind of go out on a high note. They don't go out with a fucking whimper. But yeah, if I'm being quite honest, I did really enjoy this movie, but it is the weaker of the 3. I think for me personally, it goes Fear Street 1994, like well, no, to be honest with you, Fear Street 1978, then the 1994, then 1666. I think the second one is the superior one in the whole three, because that one is so fucking brutal. That one just goes back to basics, and they just show like people getting fucking killed. It's so fucking metal, man. They fucking kill like a little fat kid with fucking glasses, and I haven't seen a little kid get killed in a horror movie in so fucking long, so I was just like, hell fucking yeah, bitch. I'm giving this fucking movie like a fucking 10 out of 10 for that scene alone. And but yeah, that's what it goes for me. It goes second, first, and then the third entry. But yeah, again, Fear Street 1666. I really enjoyed the third one, but again, it is the weaker of the 2, and I have to give it a rating because remember, the fucking number rating system is back. I'm gonna have to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. It's enjoyable, but again, it is the weaker of the 2. It goes, instead of like cool, awesome, gory kills that the previous 2 did in those films, this one kind of goes for more of an atmospheric thing, and it kind of goes for more of like a spiritual kind of like devil type thing, which makes sense because again, the devil is a looming spirit throughout these entire fucking films. But yeah, this one kind of goes more for a kind of atmospheric tone, and it's just a little bit different, but it is refreshing, so that's why I kind of gave it the 7.5. It is a little bit it's a little bit slower than the other 2. It's a kind of a slower burn. It takes a little bit of more of to get into, but yeah, really enjoyed it. Again, 7.5 out of 10. You girls and gals should get out there and check it out. I hope you girls and gals enjoyed this episode of Saturday Night Horror Theater. I'll see y'all in the next one.